Yoroshiku, Shonen Tachiyo. We are back with the second of our Shonen Godfather reviews. We just finished reviewing Perfect Origins Arc Kinnikuman. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure you tune in. We love Kinnikuman. He is literally the twin brother of Kenshiro. So if you guys aren't tapping into Kinnikuman and you're tapping into Hokuto no Ken, you're making a mistake, J family. They are blood brothers. So let's get into it. Today we're going to be reviewing Kenshiro Hokuto Musou version, Revoltech. And I am super excited. I'm sorry that the label is a little messed up. I definitely ordered this from someone claiming that they had the label in perfect condition. But that's not the point. Point is, he is still brand new in the box, no plastic. Don't worry, J family. I made sure to get some money back for them messing up the banner. But let's get into it. Hokuto Musou Kenshiro. He is a very legendary version of this character that is very different from other Kenshiros that have come before. You can see that in his very mighty redesign that he has. I have to say the Hokuto Musou version of Kenshiro really gives our iconic warrior of the wasteland a real new look that to me gives him the godly presence that he definitely deserves. So let's take a look at the box while I hype up Kenshiro. Hokuto Musou specifically is a Musou series based off the legendary Hokuto no Ken anime and manga that debuted in the 2010s. Specifically, the first game came out in 2010, and the second game, Hokuto Musou, Shin Hokuto Musou, Ken's Rage 2, came out in 2013. As you can see in the box down below, Kyoto Revoltech has had quite a history with Hokuto no Ken. And that's actually one of the reasons that I love Hokuto no Ken and I love these figures, I love everything. All of it is history, all of it is connected. You can see, and I want to do a greater video on this, but you can see on the back here that they allude to all of the previous releases that they have had in the past. We do have some of the classic Revoltechs. This is the Hokuto Musou that we have, but we also have Rao actually. So we will be getting a Rao review soon in the future. I have him over there. And for those who have seen the channel trailer, you guys already know what's coming. But let's take a look at the sick accessory effects that he comes with. That's another reason I really love this Kenshiro. A lot of Kenshiros lack good accessories, but this one comes with more than enough. You can see he has his signature Hokuto Ken and Hokuto Ken, one that he does versus Shin. Also his signature, I'm forgetting the name of that one, which kills me because it's his DP in the Arceus game. But he looks phenomenal. But before we bust open this bad boy, I just want to give you guys a quick look. Let's take a look at the banner. I know the banner is messed up, but I just want to take an appreciation of it. You can see some promotional shots for other figures that were released at the time. Pretty cool. Including Hokuto Musou Rei, Jason Voorhees, that's hilarious. I'm forgetting her name, but I know she's from Eva, which kills me because I actually finished the Rebuild movies. And Lupin, which I actually want a Lupin for my collection one day. He's really cool. Who is Kenshiro? Kenshiro is the Hokuto Shinken Denshosha. Densetsu no Ansatsu Ken. The legendary Assassin's Fist, Hokuto Shinken's sole successor, Kenshiro. I know I sound like I'm glazing this man to no ends of the earth, but this guy, this hero, I truly have to state how iconic he is in the action world and in the genre of shonen. He is the one. So, just to take a quick look at everything he has to offer, I have to say his box looks almighty, and you can definitely tell it's brand new, J family. He's covered in plastic, so this is just for you, J family. This is for us to celebrate our legends together. So if you guys haven't already, make sure to like for more Hokuto no Ken and subscribe to join the channel and celebrate our legends together. He's got like that new car smell all over him. It's crazy. Another look before we get right into it. Also just want to mention very briefly, thank you J family for voting for the Shin poll. I really appreciate it. I still haven't even opened this bad boy up yet myself. I'm super excited. You guys have been showing me a lot of support when it comes to the Kenshiro adventures. You guys really love seeing this little fella. So don't worry, it's gonna be more dig action, Hokuto no Ken on the way. So make sure to stay tuned so we can celebrate together. And you guys can hear it in my voice. There's a lot of positivity and a lot of good energy on this channel. All right, so let's get a closer look at Ken. So this is fresh out the box Kenshiro. And I have to say, despite his age, doesn't he look phenomenal? And get a good close look at the eyes. Only reason I want to comment on that is because I feel for face sculpts, especially for someone who appears to have a simpler face design as Kenshiro, I think that's where they throw you off. A character like Kenshiro and Kinnikuman, they have simpler designs on the surface, but it's the subtle details that really go far. And for me, I'm loving how this particular Kenshiro, if you look at his eyes, I don't want to say they're soulless. They're not soulless. More like they're fierce. They're small, they're cold, but they're sharp. You know what I mean? They're well done. Look, yeah, that's the Kenshiro we know. You see that look right there? He's coming for you, those shadows. I love that. They did a great job. And if you ever watch the classic anime or read the manga, there's plenty of moments where Kenshiro has those heavy shadows over his eyes. So really cool stuff. And you can already see it there. Great, the fact that the shoulder pads are articulated. Let's get this plastic off this bad boy. All right, so first things first, I had to pause it real quick. Let's get this out the way. He looks fantastic. I love the design. I love the Hokuto Musou, redesign that they gave him. I mean, personally, we have a quick comparison right here for his more quote-unquote manga-like appearance. You can see the more manga-accurate design. This is when he had his one shoulder pad. So for those who are new to Hokuto no Ken, Kenshiro usually has two shoulder pads, but there is a part of the story where he has one shoulder pad, and in the original 1984 anime, he has one shoulder pad. The point that I'm making is, this design opts to give him both shoulder pads, and the shoulder pads really give him, like this version specifically, really give him a royal kind of presence, right? Don't you guys think so? Like a royal armament almost, including how it's a beautiful lush silver, right? Especially the way the paint job is done, it looks phenomenal. You can see this kind of emerald green on the gems, the yin and the yang. So for those who don't know, Nanto and Hokuto kind of are two separate assassin fists that are aligned. If Hokuto represents the north, aka the North Star, then Nanto represents the south, right? And the only reason I mention that is because you can see the yin and the yang on his shoulders. Very cool touch. More of a Mad Max vibe with all the extra belts and zippers. I guess channeling a little bit of Tetsuya Nomura energy. But I personally really love it. He's got all his signature wristbands. I mean, and what I love about the Hokuto Musou version, you can see it with this one. The wristbands are redesigned in a way to where, like, this looks like Simon Belmont's wristband. You know what I mean? It just looks really cool. And the belt is a super nice touch. Everything about this is really nice, accompanied by what I think to be is a pretty phenomenal head sculpt. But the best part about the Hokuto Musou redesign is on the side of Kenshiro is like a giant flame. And this giant flame, it's just so iconic and cool. And it's actually the box art of the game. I'll probably put a picture of it right here. But Kenshiro literally stands with his back turned. And it's kind of like that. And it looks sick. It looks sick. Honestly, in figure form, this figure looks pretty great, to be real with you. Looks pretty great. Especially, you can see it in the colors. Even though it's a lot of black, the black that they chose is really excellent. And even the reds that accompany said black, just the color choices are very well done. Very well done. Get a closer look. Even at his belt, I mean, look at that. It's very well done. You can see the different leathers on his fit. The diamond / silver. It's really great stuff. One thing I also love is his boots, which also have kind of that flame thing going on right there. I get the camera to focus. Which also have that flame thing going on right there. They look pretty sick, not gonna lie. They look pretty sick, including all the zippers and the buckles. These are, I mean, I've reviewed a couple of figures for this channel already, and this is one of the most detailed figures I've held. Lots of little details, lots of small, subtle details. The most important one, you can kind of see it, even though it's like hiding, you can see his scars. You can see his 7 scars. You see one right there, and you kind of see the second scar right there. So you can see 2 of his 7. Still pretty cool stuff. And again, just presentation-wise, this Kenshiro is a smoke show. He looks phenomenal. I guess the only kind of complaint you could have is his face looks a little simple, but who's to say that simple is bad, right? Sometimes you overdo it, and the face looks terrible. It's funny, even though it's already been a few minutes of us looking at Kenshiro, I feel like there's just so much to process in how he looks. Like, it's crazy. But let's get into articulation. So starting from the top, he does get a full 360 pretty easily too, which is nice. Pretty good up, right? And the good thing about this up, we already did a review of Shimazu Toyohisa. Shimazu Toyohisa had like a crazy neck gap, and Kenshiro doesn't really have that same issue. I mean, a little bit of a gap back here, but again, nowhere near as criminal as Toyohisa Shimazu was. So, yeah, pretty good stuff. I think the neck sculpt looks pretty good. You gotta remember, this is an older figure. I think this figure came out in 2011 or 2012. I have to do my research, but I'll post when exactly it was released. But point is, he's an older figure compared to a lot of his modern contemporaries, and I still think he looks pretty great. So that's the neck. In terms of the shoulder pads, and Rao has the same design. These guys back here, they did the same thing with Toyohisa Shimazu, and they also did the same thing. We're gonna compare him to Revoltech Date Masamune in a few. But they did the same thing where they put the shoulder pads on a ball joint in the back that lets you pivot for free range of movement, which I think is pretty cool. Not only because, I mean, that does look kind of cool, but mainly because of the fact that you could kind of find whatever desired pose you have and then bring your shoulder pad back to it, right? Makes it a lot easier and also prevents potential breakage, right? Because I could already see maybe a newer collector trying to force this, even though it works seamlessly, right? There's nothing to worry about. You know what I mean? It's just easier to get it out the way a little bit and then manipulate it and then just pop the shoulder back on. But either way, I'm happy that how this functions, because I mean, I'm gonna demonstrate it right now. That just means I can show you Kenshiro's full range of movement. And also you can see that underneath the shoulder pad is a very beautifully sculpted shoulder. So that's nice. You can also see, I mean, I guess I kind of skipped this detail when we were looking at presentation, but I really love the extra lines in his muscles. And again, I want to keep pointing out these small details because I've been collecting Revoltechs, and what did we say last time? Not all Revoltechs, I mean, this also applies to any collector or any figure line, but not all figures are made equally. Sometimes these sculptors, these companies, they got a favorite. And in my opinion, Hokuto no Ken and Metal Gear are their favorites. Because look at this detail, man. But it gets a pretty great up. I mean, you can hear the ratchet joints. So he has the old school Revoltech ratchet joints, which those grew on me a lot. I really like them personally, but He also has it for the side, but these don't, the other, and I'll use Date as an example. Date's, these click, but Kenshiro's don't click. But if you feel it, it has a clicking functionality. Now we have, let's get his shoulder pads back on. Even though his shoulders look pretty great. Pretty good forward, going back. Double jointed elbow. But the problem is his arms, you don't get the craziest range of motion just because of the forearms. Which is funny, Date actually had more range of motion. And you want to just try to, I will admit this, getting this in there seems like a bit of an annoyance sometimes. So I had to pause it really quick. These shoulder pads, I can already tell, depending on the poses that you want, they might be a little cumbersome. But moving on to the hand, you just get a full swivel. Don't mind it being a little tight. Again, this figure is brand new, so good up, good down. Not too bad. I actually like how tight that is, not gonna lie. I hate when the joints are extremely loose on figures. So, and then he's actually got a mid swivel, which is pretty cool. Just, and I'm saying this as a warning, be careful. Yeah, you saw how tight that was? One big mistake I've seen many collectors do is they force a tight joint and then something that you don't want to happen happens. So just be mindful of that, but he does have that swivel. He has a pretty good, it's all right. His down is all right. It's just because of this belt, this piece right there. And his up is kind of not bueno. I'd be lying to you if I said it was really good. I mean, don't get me wrong, does he get the range of motion? Yeah, but this gappy does not look super good, right? I mean, that's literally the ball joint. Yeah. But, yeah, I was gonna say this comes out. So you can actually sandwich that down. Yeah. So I guess, take it how you want, right? You can, I guess one could argue that you can extend it if you want and then push it back in. Right? Yeah, extend it, push it back in. Take that how you want. Personally, I think that's okay, but I know he's older, so I'm trying not to go beast mode on him. I do like this belt though, and I appreciate that it's a flexive piece, so it can get out of the way when needed. That's actually really nice. Yeah, this shoulder pad, man. And yeah, these are his legs. He doesn't really get any back, like literally zero back. And that's just because of the way his butt flap was done compared to this. It's kind of a bit of a shame, but his forward is actually really good. Yeah, his forward is pretty good on both sides. And similar to all the other older Revoltechs, the way these guys work is in order to get their legs out, you can't actually, you see this? This doesn't actually come out to the side like an SH Figure Arts would or something like that. You have to bring the legs out, and then this is on a swivel. So then you gotta swivel them out. So then technically, to answer our infamous question, does Kenshiro get the Yujiro split? Kenshiro does not. And I already tested this earlier, but his ankles do pivot. And I wanna show you guys that really quick. So you already got to see his leg swivel. It's pretty good. You can hit those Hokuto poses. But when it comes to his feet, yeah, you see what I mean, J family? You get the swivel, you get the pivot, but it's the Revoltech joints. So yeah, you can hear it. They're not gonna totally stay at the fixated position that you want because they have to go to the clicks, which to me, when it comes to their feet, has always been hit or miss. I haven't always been the biggest fan of that, but it is an older figure, so. Double jointed knee. And I have to say, his knee, it actually, compared to a lot of the older Revoltechs, does not look terrible. And maybe it's just because he has the privilege of the knee pad. But not all of the older Revoltechs have that privilege. Some of them don't look that good. So, shout outs to Kenshiro. But yeah, you can easily hit like those Hokuto Musou, where he's like hitting Mr. Hart, kicking him and stuff. You could definitely hit stuff like that, and it looks really great. So that kind of covers it for articulation for the most part, which I know it seems like we didn't show Kenshiro off in a lot of poses, but don't worry, we're gonna get into that. Let's take a quick look at his accessories really quick. So Kenshiro has got a plethora of accessories, right? One thing I really love about this guy, and it was a specific reason why I got this one, was because of the fact that, and you can see it right here, he has the 100 crack fist, which is key. I mean, it's literally Kenshiro, right? If you don't have the 100 crack fist, is it really Kenshiro? So I'm gonna say it right now, that was the biggest reason why I got this Kenshiro. None of the other Kenshiros that I've seen, this is to include the SH Figure Arts Kenshiro that's coming out in November, have that 100 crack fist effect. And then these were also some of the extra effects that you guys saw that I mentioned for the Hokuto Musou. Some extra hands over here. Honestly, I really love it. You can see the extra angry face, like his shouting face, is absolutely needed. And the reason I want to highlight these as pros is because the new SH Figure Arts Kenshiro doesn't have any accessories. So I think when it comes to stuff like that, that's why sometimes the classics still hold up. You know what I mean? He's got his chopping hands. These are the hands that he uses for his Hokuto Shinken poses. And I have to say, it looks really, really great. I'm honestly really happy with how this figure turned out. And that's kind of all he has. He also has the signature Revoltech coin, which I've shown off with some of the other Revoltechs that we've had. And he also has the box in which you can hold and store all the accessories. On the back of this, he also has a stand. So why don't we take Kenshiro and try to show off some of these accessories really quick. So for the head, it's a simple swap. You just take this one off and you put this one on. Literally 1, 2, 3, willy-nilly. Boom. And now we got the angry Kenshiro. So I just want to show the J family the 100 crack fist effect up close. Yo, that looks so fire. That looks fire, J family. Hokuto Musou. It looks super cool. I can't even lie to you. It looks really cool. I'm honestly in love with it. This is one of the best accessory pieces I've ever seen on a figure, period. Like, the way the sculpt and the paint job on this, like if you take a closer look, these are kind of like a translucent plastic, and then it transitions from the translucent to like this ghostly, godly, literally white fist, Kenshiro, right? That shit is awesome, man. Really cool stuff. This is for his Hokuto Musou, the kick, and this is for his Shoryuken. And it's funny because we have a Revoltech Ken. This actually looks pretty, now that I'm staring at them, this looks pretty similar to the Ken fire effect. And we're gonna do some comparisons when we get to our Ken review. But I honestly think this looks pretty sick. Really cool, and again, they did that effect where it looks really great, where it's the translucent plastic that transitions into this godly, ghostly white/blue. It looks really good. Okay, so the way this works is you take off a fist, you take the peg, and you look for, you see that peg right there? And then boom. Hokuto Musou. J family. Ah, that's fire, J family. Tell me that's not fire. If you think that's not fire, J family, you gotta reevaluate what you think is cool. This is sick. Yakuretsukan! The cool part about this, before I keep hyping this up, because this is one of the best effect pieces I've ever had. This is sick. You see how it's just the hand pegs that plug into here? You know what that means, right? That means you can go crazy. Well, I don't think, actually now I'm thinking about it, it's not gonna work for Date, because Date hands are different. But if we wanted to go through the effort, we could easily throw this on Toyohisa Shimazu, which before the video ends, I think we're gonna have to try that out. That's so funny. But yeah, this is how the Hyakuretsu piece works. And I gotta say, bro, it just looks so great. It looks so great, honestly. I'm very happy with it. Personally, I think the best part about it is this, right? Is like the fact that it's on separate hands. You could like literally, you can create like so many poses with the Hyakuretsu fists. Literally, like look at that. It's fire. You kind of even do that scene where like he's just punching everyone around him. Honestly, it's pretty crazy. Really great stuff. All right, so before I get too caught up, I don't want to spend all this time on just the Hyakuretsu pieces. So let's get into the other effects. I just have to say really quick, Kenshiro looks really great like in motion, like when you're posing him and just like doing stuff with him. He looks so cool, man. I mean, that's all the Revoltechs. I said this in every Revoltech review. They're not figures that are meant to be posed in the neutral pose. You have to pose them very dynamically. And when you start getting dynamic with it, then you'll see the highlight of the Revoltech. So this effect piece literally just slides onto the fist. 1, 2, 3. And damn, it looks so good. It looks so good. This Kenshiro might be my favorite Kenshiro figure ever. Like the design, I'm tongue twisting. The accessories, the effects. Sorry, I had to let one out. It's too good. But damn, man, so cool. Hokuto! Shoryuken! Just want you to know the Shoryuken definitely probably comes from Kenshiro. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm holding history here, J family. I'm very happy. The double Shonen Godfather Friday. You know, I tried my best to pop out for the J family. I know it's been a little bit and I'm sorry, but I hope you guys are enjoying these reviews as much as I am. And don't worry, we're definitely gonna be getting more crazier with these fellas in the week coming up. We got some Let's Poses that we're gonna get into. I wanna start doing figure battles again. We gotta get back into the full swing of the figures. So for this one, you pop the foot off and then you pop this foot back on. Hokuto Musou! Yo, it looks so great, man. It looks so great, so great, so great. Oh, man. It's just really great stuff, J family. This figure is just freaking awesome. Now imagine, let's try it really quick. Feel the full fury of Hokuto Shinken. Yeah, that's mad funny. It's tough, man. It's tough. Yo, he looks crazy with all the accessories, bro. All right, let's just get into some comparisons and then let's wrap it up. All right, so first up, we have to compare him to his twin brother, right? Suguru. And for everyone who might be confused, why does J-Man keep calling them twins? Well, that's because originally, back in 1982 and 1984, these guys were brought to life by the same man, Akira Kamiya. So to me, they're the same spirit, the same person, the same soul. So let's just get into the height difference. So one thing you'll notice is the new Kinnikuman is vastly bigger than this boy, which I'm curious in the future when the Maestro Kenshiro finally arrives, whether or not Maestro Kenshiro will actually be able to properly scale with this fella. I already looked up the height for Maestro Kenshiro, and I think he actually will scale properly with Kinnikuman, but it's just a good little comparison with them side by side. I still think that they'll look cool in photos, but I think if we're just trying to go for like I guess, more likeness, maybe these two would pair better well together, right? Both of the Revoltechs. Just an assumption. But here's a quick look at him next to Revoltech Date Masamune. I gotta admit, I mean, they're literally both within the same age. I think Date came out, this guy came out like 2011, 2012. And then Date came out, I think, like 2008, 2009. Well, actually, I'm lying. Was it 2010? I don't remember. But the point being is they're not too far apart in age. And I have to say, these guys scale pretty well together. I mean, surprise, surprise, they're both Revoltech, right? And then, last but not least, take a quick look at Shimazu Toyohisa. All right, here's Shimazu Toyohisa in more of a like neutral pose. Here's Kenshiro in a neutral pose. Shimazu is actually slightly taller, but keep in mind, Shimazu came out later than Kenshiro. So I think Shimazu Toyohisa came out when the Revoltechs were trying to get a bit closer in scale to SHF. But, I mean, I already did the Shimazu Toyohisa review. For as great as I think this figure is, he has a couple of flaws, right? I mean, you can already see a few of them just by me putting him in a neutral pose. But compared to Kenshiro, I think Kenshiro has a better just design overall, better likeness, better appearance, just better, look at that, I mean, the neck issue right there. I mean, Kenshiro, man, it's hard to go wrong with this character. I guess we kind of already segueing into the conclusion and / overall thoughts, but Hokuto no Ken / Hokuto Musou Kenshiro, I have to admit, probably is one of the best Revoltechs that I've reviewed so far on the channel. I mean, I think so far, the only person that's come close to him in terms of accessories and value is Date Masamune. Don't get me wrong, Shimazu Toyohisa had a good amount of accessories too, but the way that both of these two figures feel, it's like they have a very premium finish. Enough of a premium finish that I think gives them some legs to compete with their modern contemporaries. I mean, just look at the designs. These are extremely stylish characters. These are the kind of designs that you can't really replicate anywhere else. And I'm not saying this as a detriment to Kinnikuman, who is more of a straightforward wrestler. These guys, they pop up in a room and you're like, damn, that's Kenshiro, that's Date, what the hell? And it just looks pretty great. So overall, for a final verdict, I'm gonna give Kenshiro Hokuto Musou. Damn, it's tough. I want to give him an A+. I think the only thing that's preventing me from giving him an A+ is the midsection. So we're just gonna give him an A. I think in terms of the accessories, he comes with a great amount. The only thing that he's missing, that he doesn't come with, which I guess they were just assuming that you already have an older Kenshiro. The older Revoltech's Kenshiro have the signature pointing hand, and this Kenshiro unfortunately does not, which is ironic because the Dig Action Kenshiro does come with that. And I mean, you guys can already see how small Dig Kenshiro is. But yeah, so final verdict, Kenshiro gets a solid A from me. No A+ just because of the midsection. He's not perfect, but pretty close to perfect. Solid A, solid A. And I would say that even if you're new to Hokuto no Ken, I mean, there was a lot of people that I've interacted with as well that were introduced to Hokuto no Ken through Hokuto Musou. I think that this figure is a great addition to your collection. I think if you're a newcomer, there might be a couple of things that you might have to learn in terms of how to handle a Revoltech, but whether or not you actually want to add him to your collection, I think he's definitely worth it. And if you aren't checking out the new Fist of the North Star, make sure you are already. We just uploaded some Hokuto highlights. We're gonna get into some Hokuto generations again soon. So make sure you join us, or omae wa mo shindeiru, you're already dead. Make sure to like for more Hokuto no Ken, guys, and subscribe to join the J family. All right, I'll see you in the next review, and see you around.